Good evening and welcome to Lntv News Live, 30 minutes production of the television department here at the Liberia Broadcasting System. My name is Yarsiah Sali, anchoring tonight's edition of the news program, and these are the top stories we are following. President George Weah orders full-scale investigation into electoral violence in Grand Cape Mount County, calls for a peaceful voting exercise on Tuesday, December 8th. As Liberians go to the polls Tuesday, the National Elections Commission promises a free, fair and a transparent process. The Election Situation Room decries reported acts of electoral violence in Grand Cape Mount County. And away from Liberia, large numbers of police have been deployed across cities in Nigeria following a call from protest leaders for demonstrations to resume. These are the top stories. Let's take a short break to be right back. Welcome back to the news program. President George Weah has by proclamation declared Tuesday, December 8th as Elections Day to be observed as a public holiday throughout Liberia. The proclamation directs all government offices, business houses, private and public institutions of learning and marketplaces be closed from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Tuesday. According to a foreign ministry release, the government is desirous of ensuring the unhindered movement of all eligible voters, granting unto them the opportunity to exercise their political franchise throughout the country on the day of elections. President Weah has also ordered all registered voters to adhere to the prescribed COVID-19 health protocols. Liberians are voting this Tuesday in the midterm senatorial election, the national referendum and by-elections in Montserrat County, District 9 and Sino County, District 2. At the same time, President George Weah is calling on citizens and political parties to conduct themselves peacefully as they do go to the polls on Elections Day. President Weah condemned acts of electoral violence in Grand Cape Mount County and has since ordered a full-scale investigation into the incident. President Weah emphasized that election is about the exercise of people's democratic rights and should be void of any kind of violence. The president's message was contained in an address to the nation on the eve of the midterm senatorial elections and the national referendum. The COVID-19 Election Monitoring and Violence Prevention Situation Room has expressed concern over the December 5 election violence in Pokpa, Grand Cape Mount County. Addressing a news conference in Senko Monday, Liberia's Peace Ambassador, Reverend Dr. William R. Tarbert, commended the Liberian government and international partners for their swift condemnation of the incident.
The attention of the Election Monitoring and Violence Prevention Situation Room has been drawn to the prevailing circumstances leading to the December 8, 2020 Special Senatorial Representative by-election and referendum elections in Liberia. The Situation Room takes note of the December 5, 2020 arson attack in Bambala, Papa District, Grand Cape Mount County, with serious regret and welcomes the condemnations from the Liberian government through the President, His Excellency Dr. George Weah, and the diplomatic community, including ECOWAS, the European Union delegation, the United Nations, the Swedish Embassy, and the U.S. Embassy. The Situation Room commends the government and the diplomatic community for their timely intervention and calls on everyone to avoid all and any act of violence. The Situation Room calls on all eligible persons participating in tomorrow's election to be as peaceful and civil to ensure the entire process is conducted unhindered. The Election Monitoring and Violence Prevention Situation Room has also expressed serious concern about reports of the alleged arrest of a man with firearm at the headquarters of the Unity Party on December 6, 2020, during the gathering of members of the opposition parties. The COVID-19 Election Monitoring and Violence Prevention Situation Room is calling on the Joint Security of Liberia to take seize of the situation and leave no stone unturned to prevent the recurrence of not only what happened at headquarters of opposition parties, but anywhere, especially during the electoral process.
Back to this development, President George Weah is calling on citizens and political parties to conduct themselves peacefully as they go to the polls on election day. President Weah condemned acts of electoral violence in Grand Cape Mount County and has since ordered a full-scale investigation into the incident. President Weah emphasized that election is about the exercise of people's democratic rights and should be void of any kind of violence. The president's message was contained in an address to the nation on the eve of the midterm senatorial election and the national referendum.
These midterm elections are another historic chapter in our quest to consolidate peace, security, and democracy in our country. This is why I am profoundly sad and disappointed over recent incidents of violence, especially the situation which occurred in Grand Cape Mount County, where properties were destroyed and injuries sustained. I once again condemn these acts of violence. Already, the police have arrested several individuals in connection with the Cape Mount violence. Let me assure you that all those responsible will be fully prosecuted under the laws. There is no place for violence in Liberia. We should all be free and safe to participate in these elections. It is my constitutional duty as leader of the country to ensure that all persons can exercise their democratic rights to vote freely, fairly, and peacefully. It is a responsibility that I take very seriously. I have therefore instructed the national security to take all necessary measures so that each and every voter is protected during voting. I urge all political leaders to also use their platforms and influence to admonish supporters to refrain from provocation which leads to violence at the polls.
At the same time, the chairperson of the National Elections Commission has assured the general public and Liberia's international partners of a credible and a transparent electoral process this Tuesday, December 8th. She noted that voters on election day will be adequately informed in places where the locations have been changed. She made the disclosure in an ELBC interview Monday.
And what happens is that when there's an issue at a voter precinct, then a spot or a place is selected not very far from there, and there are signposts and staff posted at the old one to show the voters where to go to the new ones.
So there will be staff posted at the old precincts, so when people come, they can be directed to the new
That is in place.
Okay, all right, great. And this will happen at all polling all the precincts where these issues might just be?
It will. It will. Because, like I told you, if, for instance, LBS is the place that voters normally come to vote, and there's an issue there, the next building here, like maybe about 1 minute walk away from you, or maybe up to 7 minutes walk away from you, will be another spot that will be listed, so that the voters will know that they don't have to walk very far, that in fact is within proximity of the previous precincts that they were voting in. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all.
Meanwhile, the Elections Commission has clarified the COVID-19 protocols put in place for Election Day.
You will stand there whether you have a mask or whether you do not have a mask. We will reinforce by our queue controllers social distancing at all levels. Liberians, please come out to vote. Don't allow anyone to misguide you, because there could be intentions as to why they are spreading these rumors. Probably the numbers look very large for some people, and some people may be afraid, but notwithstanding, we cannot disenfranchise Liberians who are registered voters, who have NEC voter cards, who come to our polling places to vote. We will not turn you away. Please come.
Will the NEC staff themselves be made to wear masks, or will they follow the protocols as much?
This is part of the training to reinforce to the staff that indeed they must come with the mask, the hand sanitizers, and all that they need to protect themselves. Because as we hear from the Ministry of Health, the numbers are rising. I don't want to go there and probably carrying COVID-19 with me, and then I give it to other people. So we should all think that way. Or I don't want to go there without protecting myself, and then I get there and somebody gives it to me. So we say again, please come, all of you who have been registered, you have NEC voter registration cards. We beg you, if you have the way of getting your mask, please put it on.
The Liberia Council of Churches has deployed 200 observers to ensure free and fair elections. Speaking at a press conference in Monrovia, the head of the council, Reverend Colton Brown, is calling on Liberians to be peaceful as they exercise their rights. He made the disclosure at a press conference in Monrovia Monday.
We call all Liberians to say no to violence as we go to the polls on Tuesday, December 8, 2020. Politics and elections is not about throwing stones or the shedding of human blood. Violence is not the way. After many years of civil conflict, our country must grow politically mature. We must denounce violence. LCC is deploying about 200 election monitors to follow the process and report on all violations of human rights and the election laws. The LCC therefore strongly condemns the violence that was reported in Bamala, Grand Cape County on Saturday, December 5th, leading to the burning of 2 vehicles belonging to the CPP candidate in that country, and whom warned the lawmakers, the discharge of firearms, among others. We call on the Ministry of Justice and the Liberia National Police to properly and timely investigate the incident and bring the culprits to justice, to deter further violence during the December 8 polls and thereafter. We must stand up to the demons of violence and expel them from our politics. Please say no to the demons of bloodshed and commit to upholding the rule of law. The Liberia Council of Churches call all Liberians to know that Tuesday, December 8th It's a day of divine retribution. Nigerians have been called upon to go to the polls to reward those candidates who have performed well in their communities and punish those who have not served well in their communities. Please do not reward people who have not served well and punish those who have tried. We pray for our people and the restoration of our economy. We pray for our neighboring countries around us, and we pray for the peace.
Well, in case you're just joining us, this is a reminder that you're watching Lntv News Live, 30 minutes production of the television department here at the Liberia Broadcasting System. My name is Yarsiah Sali, anchoring tonight's edition of the news program, and these are the top stories we're following. President George Weah orders a full-scale investigation into electoral violence in Grand Cape Mount County calls for a peaceful voting exercise on Tuesday, December 8th. As Liberians go to the polls Tuesday, the National Elections Commission promises free, fair, and transparent elections. The election situation room decries reported acts of electoral violence in Grand Cape Mount County. And away from Liberia, large numbers of police have been deployed across cities in Nigeria following a call from protest leaders for demonstration to resume. These and other stories are coming up in tonight's presentation, but let's take a short break to be right back. Welcome to News Live. An NGO helping our people excel, Hope, has been conducting trainings for chiefs and gender coordinators in 2 counties. The counties are Riverside and Sino. The training, according to the Advocacy and Communications Manager of Hope, Afrida Man, is aimed at putting an end to sexual and gender-based violence in those areas. Here is Madam Ma providing details on the engagements in Sino and Riverside counties.
The first engagement, it provided us the what is Sino and Riverside last month. We had a one-day policy engagement where we brought our beneficiaries from these rural towns to Greenville and Riverside. And then we have the county authorities, we had the police, we had the superintendent office, we had the women's protection, where they sat there, they listened to the women and girls talk about those issues that they face, and how they can join their find solutions. Because it's one thing to say these are issues, and it's another thing to say how can we solve them. So we provide them the platform where they could talk about the issues they face in their local towns. Imagine bringing somebody from Sion Town to Greenville to sit with the county attorney to talk about those issues, and it was well attended. We want to say thanks to the county attorney of Riverside and Sino. They came. The police commander in Riverside was a huge support to the process. They came, local journal actors were there, and then
the head of the Education and Continuous Professional Development CPD, Ramata Koga, is urging practicing midwives to obtain their license to enable them practice legally. Madam Koga stressed the important role played by midwives in saving lives of both the child and the mother. She spoke in an interview with this station Monday.
We always hear about people talking about nurses and midwives having issues with customer service or customer care. That's a gap. And if we see the need, maybe if this hospital wants to an entity or an individual saw that there's a need to do more education on customer service when it comes to nurses and midwives, yes, we do know that's a gap, and we all see it. We ourselves as nurses and midwives, we have experienced that.
You go to the hospital, sometimes you see the nurse on the phone, instead of the person giving you attention to done. It takes long before that happens.
So we see there's a need for example, if we have an information on the platform already, maybe if you want to talk about malaria, and we know that there are a lot of resources on the platform about malaria. Maybe we just want to advise you, say, oh, we have a lot already in its current, so there is no need to go into malaria again. Maybe you can go into type or something like that. When you go through this platform, it benefits you and it benefits the public, because after you have left school, those things you've learned, there are research going on, and new informations have been put out. With the help of this platform, you'll be abreast with current issues.
The Liberia Institute of Public Administration has inducted over 500 civil servants after completing 3 months of training in various disciplines. The program, funded by the African Development Bank and other partners, was intended to build the capacity in the management of government functionaries. Speaking at the program over the weekend, a General Auditing Commission co-chairman, Kanyo Bala, gave the newly inducted civil servants some basic tips that will make them successful.
When we have been designated as civil servants, there is a clear line of demarcation between us and those who have been designated as political servants. I'm just using us as a descriptive term, because in my role, technically, I am a political servant, appointed by the president to opposition. You follow what I'm saying? As for you, you are here on the basis of your skill, recruited to serve apolitically. Whereas others who are appointed to serve politically, even those skills have a role to play in their selection. You follow? So what does apolitical say about the 14 traits? The first thing that apolitical says is that these are skills that is expected, that if you're a civil servant and you want to succeed and to do well, that you must have. In this age and time, people make decisions on the basis of what? Information. If the Director General of LIPA decided that there must be some kind of recruitment, to be able to recruit someone to opposition, he must first ask him, what is the need in my institution? That need will be manifested by certain things that are not being done, or certain issues that need to be addressed, that are not being addressed. Isn't that so? So that's...
Also speaking at the program, the Director General of LIPA, Alexander Yonley, lauded President George Weah for his support to empowering civil servants at their various workplaces across government.
With sponsorship from the ADB and coordinated support from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning in partnership with the Liberia Civil Service Agency and Government Commission, initiated this first-time entry-level civil servant induction training program that targeted strategic courses to strengthen awareness in the workforce and society. The training intervention is in line with LIPA's mandate under the PAPD, building human capacity for knowledge economy. The overall objective is to provide first-time entry-level civil servants with the working knowledge, orientation, and conduct in the public service. Once more, we are thankful again to the Civil Service Agency for identifying civil servants that benefited from this exercise that will be sustained and revolving. I want to once more congratulate you, the civil servants, as you have been certificated today. It is LIPA's management and partners' hope that knowledge then impacted will be utilized to the best of your ability.
The management of Mano Palm Oil Plantation says it remains committed to promoting sports as part of its corporate social responsibility in Liberia. Speaking Monday when his company presented a 29-seated bus to the Mate Barrow Football Club, General Manager Asa Fadel said the donation will serve as a morale to the association.
This bus is the beginning of a journey in which our players will use in search of success and making their dreams come true. In sports, as in life, there will always be trials and tribulations. But when Mighty Barrow hits the road in quest of victories, stories will be told and history will be written on this bus. For all of you that do not know me, again, I was introduced as Asa Fadel. Since 2011, I've been the head coach of the Mighty Barrow basketball team, leading the Rollers in 2014 to the national championship and honored as Coach of the Year.
Receiving the keys to the bus at the SKD Sports Complex in Painesville on Monday, the president of the Mate Barrow Sports Association, former House Speaker Alex Tyler, expressed gratitude to the company for the donation. Okay, we hope to get back to that clip in our subsequent newscast. But let's get to this one. For his part, Youth and Sports Minister Zilga Wilson lauded the leadership of the association for the level of transformation it has brought to Barrow.
President Tyler, tell you have brought transformation to Barrow. And I hope the folks in Bowman County are listening. I repeat, this president, Honorable Tyler, has brought transformation to Barrow. When he took over as president of Mighty Barrow Sports Association, Barrow had been relegated by then to 2nd Division. And we're on the verge of going to 3rd Division. But through his steward leadership, Barrow rose from the 2nd Division, and today Barrow is a 1st Division team again. Let's give it.
An organization under the banner Organization for Women and Children has disbursed over 79,000 Liberian dollars to more than 19 women of the Peace Island community in Congo Town. The money, according to the program manager, Musu Kamara, is intended to give economic empowerment to the women.
My big area of this project is to enhance women's economic empowerment, because we know that if women are empowered, they will be able to develop their homes, they will be able to send their children to school, and then they will also be able to contribute to their homes financially. Because most of the time, one of the reasons that violence is perpetrated against women is that they are not empowered economically. So men see that as a burden. Some men. And then, so through this program, we're able to work with 19 women, yes, to be able to.
And away from Liberia, large numbers of police have been deployed across cities in Nigeria following a call from protest leaders for demonstrations to resume. Correspondents say people appear to have been scared off, as a very few have taken to the streets, unlike the large protest police brutality that were held in October. Those demonstrations ended abruptly when the army was deployed in Lagos. Rights groups and eyewitnesses said at least 10 people were shot there by soldiers, something the military has denied. Some of the protest organizers were arrested, others had their bank accounts frozen. Well, that's how I would like to leave you on tonight's presentation of Lntv News Live. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. President George Weah orders a full-scale investigation into electoral violence in Grand Cape Mount County calls for a peaceful voting exercise on Tuesday, December 8th. As Liberians go to the polls Tuesday, the National Elections Commission promises a free, fair, and transparent process. The Election Situation Room decries reported acts of electoral violence in Grand Cape Mount County. And away from Liberia, large numbers of police have been deployed across cities in Nigeria following a call from protest leaders for demonstrations to resume. On behalf of the entire team here at the Liberia Broadcasting System, my name is Yarsiah Sali. Good evening. Thanks for watching.